Hello, everybody. Happy Monday night. We are back here on Miami Total Football Radio, the show. And it is a new face joining me here, although one of the familiar faces will be tagging along in a few minutes. But as you guys know, and as Thomas already in the comment section says, 4 minutes late. Well, we're gonna work on that. Now that we have a military man as part of the panel, we're gonna work on our punctuality and try to correct that because
I'm punctual.
Jose Andrea, and myself have had a hard time being punctual, but we're working on it. So as you guys can see, joining me for the second consecutive show is Alonso Contreras. Of course, my name is Franco Penizo, your usual co-host. Alonso passed his trial. Alonso is officially a Miami Total Football Radio signing. El nuevo fichaje para el 2025. Sorry, guys, we couldn't bring a bigger reinforcement, but that's all the budget had. Lo único que tenía el presupuesto. No, I'm just kidding. Alonso, you are officially part of the team on a long-term basis. Signing fee undisclosed, transfer fee undisclosed, but we're happy to have you on again, my friend. Thank you for joining me as now a member of the podcast.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And yeah, I mean, Inter Miami is the topic of every week in Major League Soccer, and what better way to bring the audience all the information, from the inside. I mean, para ellos, not to them.
Yeah, man, we've got a good bit to talk about. We recorded on Friday night, which was your debut. So if you guys are just listening, you didn't hear the Friday show because you had a nice weekend, you were busy. Go back there. You'll hear the first few minutes. You'll hear a little bit of Alonso's background. Yes, he resides in Orlando, unfortunately, but no, I'm just kidding. But he does cover Inter Miami. Comes down somewhat regularly, not all the time, but somewhat regularly.
I'll be there on Thursday. On Thursday, I'll be there.
He will be here this week. And he does, of course, watch from afar. So Alonso, a good candidate to join us here. And yes, as you guys may already know, fellow Peruvian. Viva Peru. Arriba Peru. And Alonso, we've got a few things to talk about here. Your last supper picture notwithstanding, we've got the Inter Miami versus Houston Dynamo game, a 4-1 victory for the South Florida side, a very impressive road win, which gave Javier Mascherano his first victory in MLS play. And we've got a controversial red card to talk about once again for the second straight week after the NYCFC red card to Tomas Aviles. Now there's another one to Ian Fray that happened after the game. So we will talk about that. Of course, we have to preview this upcoming Thursday night match in the Concacaf Champions Cup against Cavalier FC, the Jamaican club. So a few topics to get to here, even though we've only been, it's only been a couple nights or a few nights since our last podcast. Jay here in the comment section says, Alonso, welcome. See that la gente te está saludando. La gente saying hello. La gente saying hello. And
hello, Jay.
Of course, give Alonso a follow at Alonso_Inca. Give us a follow, a like, a share, a subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. It's free for you guys. So in case Alonso's bringing in some new audience, follow us as well. And Alonso, all right.
Thanks.
We'll start with the Houston Dynamo game. But before we dive into the X's and O's, tactics talk, las cosas más tácticas, performances like Luis Suarez and Velasco Segovia, we have to start with what was the biggest news heading into the match. And that was word on Saturday trickled out that one Lionel Messi would not be playing in the game. Now, he was, according to the reports, he was being rested, load management, during the second game of the MLS regular season, the fourth game overall across all competitions for Inter Miami, and Messi needs some rest. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But before we dive into it, before we sink our teeth and give our thoughts and we can present more information, we're going to listen to Javier Mascherano. We're going to listen to Mascherano talk post-game. There's two sound bites, two quotes, two clips where he talks about the decision, of course, in Spanish, about having Messi sit this one out. So let's listen to Mascherano, and then we can dive into it in more detail.
A lo de Leo, nada, obviamente que lo charlamos y siempre digo lo mismo, no hay nadie, no conozco jugador en el mundo que conozca su cuerpo como lo conoce Leo. Y bueno, después de 3 partidos en 6 días y de todo el trajín que tenía, creíamos que lo mejor era poder que él pueda descansar, sobre todo en un viaje que era un viaje a la otra costa, de 2 horas y media, 3 horas, pensando un poco en su bienestar físico. Y obviamente que no es solo con Leo, cada decisión, nosotros como cuerpo técnico tratamos de darle nuestra opinión a los jugadores e ir consensuando. Al final de eso se trata, gestionar una plantilla.
So, why are you covering your mouth? So in short, to paraphrase for those that don't speak Spanish, don't understand Spanish, more of the same from Mascherano, saying that he doesn't know any player who knows his body better than Messi, that after so much trajín, after so much of, I don't know how you translate that in English, but
I mean,
mes? Like, what do you call it?
Back-to-back activities.
Such a busy stretch.
Back-to-back activities that create fatigue.
Yeah, that they felt it best to rest Messi.
And that he traveled all the way to the other coast, which is something which is literally the other side of the coast, you know?
Yeah, he did. He didn't go coast to coast, but bueno. That was Mascherano's response as to what went into the decision. We do have another clip where our beloved colleague Jose Armando, aka Island Jose, aka Cinco, who shall be joining us shortly, followed up. And we'll get into that once Jose gets here. We'll wait till Jose gets here to share that sound. I know I said a cheer back to back, but we'll wait till Jose gets here. And Alonso, you were shaking your head and you're laughing. I take it you don't buy this whole resting Messi thing because of El Traje. Look, we do have to say that in the game before, right? This is information. This is not supposition. In the game before, Inter Miami played Sporting Kansas City in the Concacaf Champions Cup, second leg of their series at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. And that happened on Tuesday night. So what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 5 days before, Messi played in a game. Messi showed some discomfort. Whether there's severe discomfort or not, he showed discomfort. That was something you could see on the field. There was images that you could catch on social media of him looking to be in some sort of discomfort. He was substituted shortly after showing that discomfort. He headed straight to the locker room. After heading straight to the locker room, he did not come back out to be with the teammates as they celebrated the victory over Kansas City and the advancement to the next round of the Champions Cup. A few days later, we get the news that he is not traveling with Inter Miami. He did train on Friday from what we could see at practice during the first 15 minutes, but did not travel with the team and was rested. All right, so that is information, not supposition, information. All right, Alonso, your time to tell me what you think about the decision to rest him. Do you buy that he doesn't have an injury? Do you believe that? Or do you take it at face value, or do you not take it at face value that this was just about rest?
Well, on the benefit of the doubt, okay, from last year experience, he might be injured, but we don't know how severe it is because remember when you personally asked Tata Martino, he told you, remember, hey, but you're the only person that asked me about Messi. Like, I want to know how many days because other people are injured, but you don't ask me about them. But Messi is Messi. So what I'm trying to say is they don't want to tell you that he's injured because it's going to cost a lot of money, effect in the stadium, and the tickets, and the propaganda. And also, in the other side, you cannot, I mean, I don't know what Mascherano was thinking, but to say that he was trajín, a player that plays so many, like over 2 decades, every 3 days a game, Wednesday weekends, back-to-back games. Come on, he played after 5 days, like you mentioned, and then he's Next game is against the Todopoderoso Cavalier on Thursday. So it's almost like you having a week to rest, you know? So I don't, I mean, worst case scenario, he might be really injured. That's what he said. That's what you said. He walked straight to the locker room. So he might be injured, and they are trying to cover up, because I don't buy this elite player status that he has. That, oh no, he mucho trajín. I have to rest. No, come on. And you don't charlar. You don't talk to Messi. Messi tell you, hey, I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel. It's pretty straightforward.
So that's where there's the bigger talking point here of what this all means, right? I mean, it's not when it's come to Messi and injuries, there's been a mystery. When it comes to Inter Miami and mysteries in general, there's mysteries, largely, not always, but oftentimes. Mm-hmm. And then with Messi, even more so. Have they covered up the extent and the severity of injuries in the past? Absolutely, because coaches get a medical report from the medical staff, the medical team, as to how severe an injury is, what the timetable for recovery is. There's diagnosis and diagnosis. I know. Anyway, but when it comes to Messi and some other Inter Miami players at times, there is no diagnosis. It's just day to day. That's what we get, day to day. Now, in this case, Inter Miami is insisting that Messi is not injured. Like you said, there's a home game on Thursday with tickets as low as $15. And we know that Messi equals money. And Messi moves money, right? Mueve dinero, in terms of if he's playing, people will go out to the stadium. If he's not playing, people will not go out to the stadium in as many numbers. So I could see why Inter Miami doesn't want to say, hey, he's injured. Maybe he's not injured, but it's really coincidental that he shows discomfort in one game, goes straight to the locker room, and then a few days later, he's being rested. Meanwhile, Luis Suarez, who's also played in the same amount of games, is not rested. He starts.
You can tell when he runs, he's not 100%.
Giovanni Diaz in the comment section. Here's another question. Has he trained with the team since the supposed injury? He did train with the team on Friday. Now, Alonso and I got information that he did not train on Thursday. Neither did Luis Suarez. That's information that we have. But he did train on Friday. However, again, all the same, didn't play on Sunday. The official reasoning, he's being given rest. Whether he'll be available or not for Thursday, we'll see. I would venture to guess yes. This is my supposition. This is not information. This is my supposition. Does he maybe have a little bit of discomfort? Yes. Could he probably play through it? Absolutely. But there is a very busy March for Inter Miami coming up. And on top of that, there's a couple of World Cup qualifiers with Argentina. So Messi and the team probably will have the decision to, hey, if there's a game I can miss, it's probably this one. So I can not push myself after maybe feeling something. That's, again, supposition, not inside information. So it's clear for everybody here.
So, I mean, two things. The first one is funny when you watch the show. I don't want to mention what show, but everybody knows what to watch Major League Soccer games. People trying to sell you that, the fatigue of the player, in 8 games you can win the Concacaf. Come on, it's Messi. Maybe Inter Miami is facing Tigres, Pachuca, Cruz Azul. I can understand that. And also, what's funny, the people were mentioning Sunday night soccer, and out of nowhere, if you rewatch a couple games from Saturday, no one announced Sunday night soccer anymore after they find out that Messi was gonna be not gonna be in Houston. So, it's funny how all these move around Messi. But I mean, the survey, yes, Messi probably the best player on his generation, of his era. But at the end of the day, it's better to tell the truth. Hey, he's not gonna travel, because all the logistics are involved, all the fans that move their work to watch to want to watch Messi. So hey, he's not gonna play. But if you buy a ticket, we give you another ticket for a future.
Well, that's what the Houston Dynamo.
Yeah, but in advance, not like at the last resource.
No. So
the control damage.
That's where this is a side topic here, and this isn't necessarily. I mean, it is Inter Miami related, but it's not directly Inter Miami. Houston Dynamo came out with a statement once the news that Messi was not traveling came out. And in there, it's a lot of PR jargon. But the biggest thing was that they were going to give fans who bought tickets to the Dynamo versus Inter Miami game in Houston, Texas, a free ticket to a future game. Now, some people were like, wow, that's very commendable from the Dynamo. It's a very nice gesture, which, it's nice that they gave you a free ticket for a future game. Sure. But as I tweeted, I don't see it as a nice gesture. I see it as a forced gesture because, like any MLS team, when they play Inter Miami, ticket prices raise, right? They charge more for these games. And guess what? Now when he's not playing and you're going to get some backlash and some outrage and some frustration and some anger because I paid a lot of money for these tickets, the general public's going to say that. Well, then how do you kind of help diminish that? How do you do damage control, as you said? You make an effort, right? You make an effort. Here's a free ticket for the future. It still doesn't. I'm pretty sure it's still 2 Houston Dynamo tickets to regular season games.
Like $12.
Do not offset the cost for the Inter Miami.
No, but I think another point is like the two, besides Jamaica, when Miami have to go to Jamaica for the second leg, they're gonna go to 2 big stadiums: Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz, and then the other away game will be in Chicago, Soldier Field. So we're talking about over 50,000 seats in those stadiums, and that's going to be an issue because people are saying if Miami won comfortable against Houston 4-1, they don't really need Messi to travel to get him tired, and he needs to concentrate for the Concacaf. So it's going to be a big issue. Like I think the MLS have to play the cards different, because it's different when you go to Houston with like 18,000 seats to now to Atlanta 70,000. I've been in the stadium, it's beautiful. And then when you go to Soldier Field, probably the same, 50, 60,000 seats that you need to like manage different because you need to say, is Messi is going to go or not going to go? Simple as that.
Thomas in the comment section makes a good point. People need to understand they're paying tickets versus Inter Miami, not Messi. You never know if he's going to play. Thomas, that is very well true. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. You're paying to see 2 teams play, not to necessarily see a specific player play. This is not a concert. This is not a Broadway show where, X actor is promoted. The issue is that MLS heavily promotes these matches as Messi coming to town.
And they raise the price like incredible.
And they raise the price on these tickets. The teams, to capitalize on the Messi mania, they raise the ticket prices. This is not the standard Houston Dynamo versus X team ticket price. This is Houston Dynamo versus Inter Miami with Lionel Messi in town. So that's where the frustration comes from. While you absolutely have a point that there's no guarantee that any player plays in any given game in any sport, the fact that they sell it as such and they raise the ticket prices, that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. And Luis Lopez here says, teams raising their prices is just pathetic, especially when Messi decides to be a no-show. It makes the league look like a laughingstock. It just shines the light on how MLS price gouges these fans, right? They do price gouge these fans. Like you can't sit here and say they don't when ticket prices go through the roof for a game involving Lionel Messi. And I'm not talking about the secondary market. That's a separate thing. I'm talking about tickets for the actual game. They increase significantly. That is part of MLS's doing. That is part of the decision-making from MLS, which is a single entity, and the organizations underneath. So I get the public's frustration. I completely understand it. Should the general public be a little bit more aware of the fact that Messi may not come to an away game? Like it could also be the case for a home game. Yes. But when that's what's being presented and heavily marketed, I understand why people lose sight of the fact that he may not play. And not everybody follows, the news day to day. Some people are just casual fans. They hear Messi's coming to town and they're like, all right, let's go watch these games. Not everyone's a diehard MLS fan that's following the news day by day. You could say that it's on them, but I think there's also responsibility from the league to do better there. It's not the first time we've seen it. Chicago Fire in 2023, Vancouver in 2024. And Thomas here says the Science remind me problem. The other teams are selling packages. single entity league. That is where we will go into what Mascherano said. The second comment, Jose Armando still hasn't arrived. He said he was going to be late. He's late on his late, so he's tardy for his tardy. Amarilla
Yellow
directa.
card.
Amarilla directa for Jose. When he gets here, yellow card.
No talking.
Direct yellow card for Jose Armando. But listen to Mascherano's second quote on not revealing that Messi was being out. The Inter Miami doesn't have any onus to divulge that information. Doesn't have any responsibility, to divulge that information beforehand.
Nada, vamos hablando de acuerdo a cómo se van sintiendo, cómo se van recuperando después de cada partido, si la fatiga persiste o no, cuáles son las sensaciones de los jugadores y bueno, y después tomamos la decisión. Yo no voy a estar contando cada charla, no tengo por qué, es en el ámbito privado donde vamos decidiendo qué es lo mejor para el equipo. Es así, yo lo único que dije el viernes es que Leo iba a entrenar y Leo entrenó, ustedes lo vieron. Después, obviamente, nunca dije que iba a jugar o que iba a viajar. Eso me lo guardo para lo que es internamente nuestro equipo y cada decisión que vayamos tomando será así. No tengo por qué ir comentándolas hacia afuera. Son decisiones nuestras y quedan en el ámbito privado.
Hey, there he is. He's joining us. Jose Armando in the house. And look, Jose, we have a new signing.
DP.
Alonso El Inca has been signed on a minimum salary to join us as part of the Miami Total Football Radio panel. So now you know what it's going to feel like when you have 2 against 1, 2 Peruvians against 1 Honduran, as opposed to 2 Hondurans.
Honduras going to play on Chase Stadium.
Yeah, on the 16th. Thank you.
Welcome.
Cheers.
Jose. That's not alcohol. That is just sparkling water.
Italian drink, yeah.
Jose, as you just joined in, it was perfect timing.
All right, fill me in.
Yeah, we just shared the Mascherano soundbite where you asked him about the process of making the decision on Messi. I'm very curious because we haven't really spoken about it. You were very busy on Sunday. We haven't spoken about what your thoughts are on his response to your question with how they make the decision to rest Messi or not play Messi or whatever the case is. What are your thoughts on that response to your question from Sunday night?
Well, okay. All right. I'm here.
Un centro, de una.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's rather interesting, not unusual though. I mean, we've seen this before from Tata. But I feel like he had an opportunity on Friday to at least be a little bit more open about the situation. He's obviously not going to tell us whether he will play or not, right? Because we know that's not his style. He has already told us who's playing and who's not. That's for sure. But he could have been a little bit more open about the situation. He could have said, and I actually helped him out the way I asked the question because I led him into telling us it's about time. We're getting close to that moment where he needs to rest because we all know that. I mean, if you do the math and you see how many games Inter Miami has played, then you know Messi is due for a night off. And whether this was the right game to do it, I don't think so. Because let's be honest, the game in Panama against Sporting San Miguelito, just a few days after he played in Peru, that might have been a moment for him to rest. The game against Orlando, 4 days before the first official match of the season, that could have been a moment for them to rest him up. But they decided not to do it, and now they are into the season, into not halfway through the Concacaf Champions Cup, but already in it, into the second round, and now they're looking for time for him to rest. If they would have managed him better early on, then I think we would have had a different scenario this weekend against Houston.
So do you buy the official report from Inter Miami? We talked about this before, but do you buy the official report that he's not injured? After seeing him leave the game, I'm not saying he's severely injured, he can't play, but do you buy that he doesn't have any type of discomfort after seeing what we saw on Tuesday night where he showed some molestias, walked to the locker room after he was subbed out and never came back out on the field. Do you buy that he's 100% healthy?
Yes, I do. But when I saw him
so then why rest him?
Because he needs to rest. He's 37 years old. He can't play and
Luis
lead
Suarez
his
no.
team every night.
Luis Suarez no.
Luis Suarez doesn't do half of what Messi does on the field.
Oof.
No way. I mean, so look, is there a situation where we can debate here all night long whether he's healthy or not? Yes, because we don't have the information in front of us. If we had a full medical report that tells you exactly, how he's doing and how tired he is, then obviously we will have the facts, but we don't have the facts right now.
Fatigue is only like 48 to 72 hours. It ain't that much. It's not like a 5 days rest.
Right. I mean, but see, the problem with them is that we can never trust what they say fully. So when they say fatigue, is that really fatigue? The fact is, he's 37 years old and he can't play every single game. Right. He played 8 games in what was it, 35 days, something like that. I mean, he needs to stop at some point. There was a reason why Tata Martino did it all year long last year, and Javier Mascherano was late to this party because last year we saw it firsthand how Tata Martino was able to manage him, and he missed quite a few games as well. If you don't stop at some point and manage his minutes and stop him from hurting himself playing every single game, you're going to be in huge trouble halfway through the season.
So, good decision to rest him, you think?
Good decision, especially playing against Houston. Very good decision.
Yeah, but you could have taken him and play the last 15 minutes. It won't be that hurtful.
Well, that's a different scenario. If you're talking about the fans, if you're talking about the expectations,
about the people, because people pay for those tickets.
I like it. Alonso and Jose having their first one.
No. I actually think we're agreeing. Because I do agree with you.
You're gonna. What Machado could have done is take Messi to Houston. Hey, Messi, get up and warm up. People are gonna forget about that game. They're gonna be recording Messi on the corner, warming up. Okay, come back, sit, go again. It's a show. It's a show.
That's what I'm saying. If he is going to get some rest, why can't he travel with the team? Why not? What is the argument? What is the argument to not have him travel with the group?
Yeah, what I told you guys is completely related to the football side of things.
Fine.
Now, if we talk about the other side, if we talk about the business, if we talk about the fans, if we talk about fans paying $600, $700, $1,000 for tickets, absolutely he should have traveled and just say hello. Whether fans will be happy with it or not, that's a different scenario. Absolutely, he could have traveled. That's a different scenario, though. That's not what I'm referring when I talk about what Mascherano talks to us, because that's not related to it. What Mascherano told us is a situation that at least I take it from the football standpoint. Now, he should have traveled. I completely agree with you guys. Travel, say hi to everybody, maybe play.
Can't he play 10 minutes, 15 minutes off the bench?
Yeah, but let's be honest. The way the game went on, he wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have played because
the fact that they're trying to rest him because he's 37, you have a 38 years old Luis Suarez, half of his knee is working, and he played 90 minutes and he scored a golazo, So according to that logic, so he's not supposed to play against Cavalier?
He will rest. Yes. Luis Suarez will rest. He will also rest. Pretty soon you'll see Luis Suarez is missing a game. Come on. It's pretty obvious. 37, 38, they can play every game.
Call me cynical. Call me whatever you want. I just find it hard to believe that he rests in the game immediately after he showed some discomfort. That's just it's hard for me to believe in that coincidence. It's hard.
We saw him come off the field, and there was really nothing there.
From
what we saw in social media. No. From what we saw in social media, there was absolutely no sign of it on the field.
No.
A screenshot from here and there. From here and there. Not related to it. He was fine.
He went straight to the locker room.
He bends and grabs his inner thigh, his adductor, whatever you want to call it. You see that. There's images of that. I'm not making this up. Just images. I don't buy it. And then he subbed out and goes, bueno. All right. We will move on from there.
We will find out on Wednesday.
Right. Yes.
By the way, host, this is for you. I had already given it to you, but I'm going to
For
give
what?
it to you for being tardy to your tardiness. You told me 9. You told me 9:30, and you showed up later than 9:30, so you get a yellow card straight away.
Fine. I'll take it. I won't complain about it. I won't
All right.
appeal.
Speaking of cards, we will. Do we want to just dive into it, or do you want to dive into? Let's dive into the game first, because that was a positive note for Inter Miami. Messi controversy in Houston, no show aside, Inter Miami had a very good game against the Houston Dynamo. They came out on top 4-1. Again, Mascherano's first win in Major League Soccer, right? He had won in Champions Cup, but had not won in Major League Soccer after the week 1 draw against New York City FC. And it was a very convincing win. Telasco Segovia with another goal, Tadeo Allende with a goal, Luis Suarez with a goal and a couple of assists. So a very impressive all-around showing. The Dynamo didn't score until late in the game. We will talk about Ian Fray's controversial red card at the end. I will go back to Alonso, who's a little quiet over here. Alonso, what did you think of the game? How impressed were you by Inter Miami? Without Messi.
I mean, we discussed this on Friday. I mean, they play nobody, you know. Like, you want to sell the Houston guy, Maglin from Philadelphia. I mean, he didn't do nothing. $1 million. I don't know. It was $1 million pesos from Mexico, but it was just like they were walking. I mean, look at the first goal. Kremaski pressure, get the ball, Luis Suarez. The second goal is another mistake. So, Houston wasn't a team to compete against Inter Miami. Inter Miami without Messi, 4-1 is the perfect. This team has to adjust again because they're not playing with HH, Carrasquilla, and to build a team. I know Ben Olsen is a good coach, but Houston wasn't. You gave me a yellow card. He gave me a yellow card because I said on Friday, if you pick half staff from Miami Radio, no Total Football Radio, and Al Sport Network combined, we make a team. We can defeat Houston Dynamo. You give me a yellow card for that. And look, 4-1.
Another yellow card for repeating the nonsense.
But it made no sense. Like you see how Inter Miami won. I want to see Inter Miami when they play Atlanta, Philadelphia, Columbus. Houston is
focus. Alonso.
It was no competition. It was no competition from the goalkeeper. I'm telling you, the Houston.
And they can only play the team that's in front of them. They can only play the team.
I'm saying, but no competition.
Can you give him a yellow card?
It's like on Thursday, you expect Miami to win 4-0, right? Hey, Alonso, how do you see the game against Cavalier?
Tarjeta María, Alonso. Tarjeta María. Don't give me the set porque sale la roja. Sale la roja.
Can you give him
like Ian Fray? Yeah.
Can you give him a yellow card for saying that Ben Olsen is a good coach, please?
Yeah, that was.
He defeat you guys. He defeat Inter Miami on their own turf on the US Open Cup.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on.
With Messi.
Come on. No, Messi didn't play.
Messi wasn't the Houston Dynamo, since Messi has arrived, has never seen Lionel Messi. And unless they play them next year or they see him in the playoffs, deep in the playoffs, pretty much MLS Cup, the Houston Dynamo will have never had a chance to see Messi against their team. Up till now, it hasn't happened. Anyway, Jose, give me your thoughts on Inter Miami's convincing victory. I agree with Alonso that the level of the opponent isn't high, right? The Houston Dynamo are not a top team in Major League Soccer. Inter Miami clearly is, just based off talent, based on what they accomplished last year, based on, you expect them to be a top team. Houston Dynamo, not the case. But all that said, without Messi, Inter Miami still took care of business, and they looked very good doing so. Telasco Segovia actually had 2 goals in this game, not 1.
They got lucky because Fray has to have a red card. Fray.
Yes.
The VAR didn't check.
Correct. Yes. Well, I don't think VAR can check that one, but
focus. All right. Focus on the overall game. Focus on the game. Jose's turn. Jose.
Well, no, I think I kind of agree with Alonso. It's hard to evaluate a game in which the opponent is basically giving you away goals, but the credit goes to Inter Miami for taking advantage of it. There's one situation where Houston is terrible with the ball coming out of the back. But if you don't finish, then, you really, can take anything out of it. And Inter Miami did it. I think Telasco feeling pretty good for Messi, playing right behind Luis Suarez. I think that was a good idea from Mascherano. I think it worked out well. The one thing that I would criticize from the lineup would be, I'm sorry, but I don't rate Benjamin Kremaski. I think he's nowhere near ready to start for this team. And I find it disrespectful that Robert Taylor, in a situation where Tadeo Allende could play on the right and Robert Taylor is available to play on the left. And Robert Taylor, after everything that he has done for this team, 112 games, and yet he can't start in a situation like this against Houston Dynamo. I don't know.
One question. Where is Allende from?
No, but I want Allende to start. I don't think Benjamin Kremaski should start. I think Tadeo Allende should play on the right.
He called Kremaski for Argentina youth. With complete disaster. I mean, of course,
he sent him back. He sent him back. So on his defense, but I think Robert Taylor should have started this match. Regardless, it doesn't really matter because they won the game. So it's just an opinion, but at the end of the day,
Jason disagrees with you. Jason says Taylor is not good. Taylor
better than Kremaski.
Listen, I'm going to give my two thoughts on this game. Inter Miami was dominant. They were impressive. Ganaron, golearon, gustaron. I mean, again, the level of the opposition was not great, right? El nivel de exigencia was not great, but that's not Inter Miami's problem. Inter Miami can only play the team in front of it. And if that's the Houston Dynamo in week 2, then that's the Houston Dynamo in week 2. And Inter Miami high pressed well. Some of the turnovers that they forced from Houston, even though Houston's not good with the ball, Inter Miami quickly transitioned into attacks. That led to a couple of goals. Luis Suarez was the man possessed in this game. He turned back the clock, scored a good goal late on, although the defending was shambolic there. Gets to assist. One of the interesting things from these early Mascherano games for me, tactically speaking, is how Luis Suarez is drifting to wide spaces. Right? He's not playing necessarily centrally as a straight number 9. He's drifting out wide. If you look at the assists that he has in this game, they come from wide positions. You go back to the game against Sporting Kansas City in the Concacaf Champions Cup. He's also out wide left, and then he whips it across to Messi when Messi chests it and then hits it into the back of the net. So a little bit of a different tactical wrinkle than we saw with Tata Martino, where Suarez played as an out-and-out 9. Did he move occasionally out to the
he had more freedom
wings?
now.
But here, it seems like he's being given, I don't know if it's freedom or the instruction to push out wide and leave space in the middle for others, whether it's Messi or in this game, the like of Tadeo Allende, who seemed to occupy those central spaces. By the way, that Tadeo Allende goal is fantastic, man. Yeah. Fantastic. Question for you and for the listeners and viewers. Which goal, con qué gol te quedas? Which goal do you prefer? Velasco Segovia last minute against New York City FC, a great little chip, or Tadeo Allende's left-footed blast? I think Tadeo Allende's right-footed, right? So
Luis Suarez goal, bro.
No.
He dribbled with
the defending was terrible.
Half knee. He limps when he runs. So he's not 100%.
He's walking around defenders. So
I know, but look at the experience.
The defenders are terrible.
Yes.
The defending was terrible.
They're just watching.
But you have to. But okay.
Alonso, te voy a dar tarjeta roja.
But that's your position that you say.
We have an unruly.
Okay, you say they were dominant and la exigencia wasn't there, but of course, Suarez look a golazo. Otherwise, it's a smoke rate for Inter Miami. Puro humo.
Jose, which goal do you like better?
No, I'll take the last goal 100%. I think the buildup of the play is much better. I think, well, at least I put a lot of value into the collective effort. I really like, obviously the ball from Messi, but I like the run from Telasco. And I think I mentioned it, on the pod right after. I like that run a lot. The movement without the ball, I put a lot of value into that as well. So I'll take Telasco.
I like a good, classy chip, which is what Velasco Segovia had against New York City FC. But it's not easy to blast a shot with your less preferred foot. And to do it from the position that Tadeo Allende did it in was very freaking impressive, man. It was un golazo. If I had to pick one of the two, I think I'm taking Tadeo Allende. And if you want to add the context that, Velasco Segovia's goal saved Inter Miami from defeat, then yes, Velasco Segovia. But if you're just talking about just pure aesthetics, I'm taking Tadeo's. Alonso doesn't take either one. Alonso takes Luis Suarez.
He takes Suarez, so perfect. So the comment section can decide.
Tom says not many players can run from home half, caught the ball and blasted past the keeper with his off foot, man. That is you don't see that goal often in Major League Soccer. You don't see that goal where one guy dribbles from the midfield all the way up with his weaker foot and blasts it to the far corner.
It was good. It was a very good goal.
It's a very good goal. And that speaks very highly to what he can bring to Inter Miami this year. I mean, this Inter Miami team has the potential to be better than last year's. It definitely has the potential to be better than last year. If people can stay healthy,
I don't know.
The defense is a weakness.
Bueno, let's talk about the ending to this game, which has been a source of much controversy. Ian Fray is red carded after the final whistle for what pro referees has officially stated was a hands to the throat of, if I'm not mistaken, Ethan Barlow. Barlow.
Yeah.
And we've seen the images on social media. I've tweeted them out at Franco Panizo on X or on Twitter. So you can see them there. We can't share them here because we don't have the Apple TV rights. But Jose, I'll go with you here. What do you make of the red card? Let's start there. What do you make of that decision?
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a very, very good one to talk about. Look, I'm gonna take you through my thought process when I saw this for the first time. When I saw it, I thought there must have been something that Ian Fray said to the referee that prompted him to showing him a red card, because I didn't see a lot of contact. I did not see a lot of contact there. Then obviously today I still had, the same thought process. And then I remember there's a protocol that we can actually use and put into effect, and that we would actually get a confirmation or at least clarification from Pro about the situation. And that's exactly what I did. I reached out to Pro. They gave me a statement. And at that point, it was clear to me that the decision was not made based on something that Ian Fray said to the referee, but exactly the contact that I think in the broadcast, and in Spanish at least, they referred to it. I still don't see enough. If it was my decision, that wouldn't have been a red card. That would have been a red card. I'm going to be very clear about this. I still don't see enough. But I'll tell you this. The referee was right there in between the two players. So if the referee is so close, I have to believe there was something there that maybe the camera didn't catch. Maybe he blocked. There must have been there for the referee makes that decision. Because
I don't know, Jose.
We have angles, but there's no better angle than the referee standing right in between the two players. So I think it comes down to a referee's decision. His judgment. He made the decision. He thought it was a red card. He showed a red card, and that's it.
So the official statement from pro referees reads as follows. Quote, Ian Fray was sent off for violent conduct. He reached out and made contact with his hand to the neck of Ethan Barlow in front of the referee, Joe Dickerson. End quote. That is the statement from pro referees. And in the images, there is a slight second where Ian Fray does put his hand around Bartlow's neck. Now, as I tweeted today, in my opinion, I agree with you that it's not enough for a red card, because Ian Fray doesn't try. I don't think there's an intentional effort to try to choke Barlow. Barlow grabs Ian Fray's jersey as Ian Fray's trying to walk off the field.
Yeah.
And Ian Fray, in a desperate attempt to free himself from the clutch, tries to get him off him. And in one moment, in terms of trying to shove him off or get him off him, his hand does go to the throat. But again, it was not with the intention, in my opinion, to choke him. And that is what the referee saw. That's what we're being told is the reason for the red card. I completely disagree with it. Someone else who completely disagreed with it was Javier Mascherano post-game. There is a almost 2-minute soundbite that I'm going to share with you here with Javier Mascherano going off on the refereeing, particularly for that decision. We could talk about the one on Jordi Alba that was not called. There was a stomp on Jordi Alba a couple of minutes before the end of the game. But this was Javier Mascherano post-game after a 4-1 victory, sounding off on what he thought was a well, clearly poor refereeing decision.
Jan no hizo nada, no hizo absolutamente nada. Se quiere ir al vestuario y el rival lo sujeta de la camiseta y lo intenta sacar una vez, 2 veces, 3 veces y el árbitro está al lado, lo está viendo. Ya eso me empieza a preocupar. Eso sí que me preocupa porque Jan no hizo nada. Y yo acá, cuando mis jugadores no hacen nada, mato por ellos, ¿eh? Yo mato por ellos. Aunque cueste lo que cueste. No puede ser. El otro día, bueno, jugadas dudosas. Hoy de nuevo, jugadas donde íbamos ganando 4-1, el partido terminaba, 2 o 3 faltas que no eran de amarilla y nos llenan de amarillas. Ya, eso ya no me voy a callar. Hay cosas que no me voy a callar. Y en este caso, Jan no hizo nada. No hizo absolutamente nada. Se quiere ir al vestuario, lo sujetan y no se puede ir. 3 veces se saca al hombre encima. ¿Qué quieren que haga? Eso también lo deberían decir ustedes, ¿eh? No es solamente yo. Porque al final hay una cosa que no se puede cambiar, que es la realidad, que es lo que se ve con los ojos. Y lo que vemos todos, eso hay que opinar, ¿eh? Eso no es subjetivo. Eso no es subjetivo. Entonces me gustaría que, sobre todo, los periodistas, que son los que ven, también den su opinión de esto. Cuando algo está mal, está mal. Y se terminó. Esto es así para mí. Como si nos equivocamos nosotros, también lo diremos. Pero en esta no, Michelle, ¿eh? Esta no. La de Jan no.
You guys are both smirking. Why are you
No,
guys-
because it is very. Hey, Macherano, we don't want to talk about it because we don't want to make a circus. Because
Right.
you think the press is a circus. You mentioned, what, and we're gonna stay what he said. Whatever happened in the pitch stays in the pitch. He said it. He said that. I'm not right, Armando. He
You're
said
right.
that.
You're absolutely
He said
right
that.
about that.
So why you now calling the press to speak when like less than a week ago you were crying? Oh no, Messi, come on. We're saying that in Argentina, what we say when the pitch stays in the pitch. You guys, the press, create a circus. He
But
said
this-
in your
but
face.
this- but this- I don't entirely disagree with your guys' point, but what he was talking about was Messi sounding off after the final whistle, not a gesture.
This is after the final
pitch
whistle.
is the pitch for the whistle. Now, let's be serious, Franco. You and Armando, you have plenty experience on MLS. The referees goes to their
His name
camp.
is Jose.
Guys.
Are you calling him Armando?
Armando, Jose.
Fine,
I mean,
yeah, fine.
Jose Armando. Come on.
Yes,
Armando,
that's good.
Jose, sorry. We all know that the referees goes to their Dallas camp, like before they get sent off to their games on the weekend. They probably talk, hey, I'm not going to tolerate any more behavior on Inter Miami. And because they probably shoot out the referee that gave the yellow Messi, that he deserved a red card. Now they're like, no, you know what? If any Inter Miami player come with attitude, red card. Probably, you don't know. But they're not going to tolerate any more behavior. Because if
Yeah, that
Messi
is
does
possible,
it,
yeah.
everyone is going to do it. Come on.
Jose, what are you smirking? Tell me your thoughts.
He was with me the other day.
No, because I mean, look, I went through the game last night. I was at the Miami Heat game, and I was watching both games at the same time, mainly into Miami, to be honest. Then this afternoon, since I knew we had a show, then I really wanted to watch the game, so I went through it again late in the afternoon and went through every single decision that Mascherano is talking about. And look, every yellow card that was shown to Inter Miami, with the exception of the Fede Redondo yellow card, was a yellow card. The Benja Kermaski is a yellow card, the Jordi Alba is a yellow card, the Leo Afonso is a yellow card. So those 3 decisions, the referee was fine.
I agree
Now,
100%.
He made a big mistake with, at the 60th minute mark, Yannick Bride commits a foul, edge of the box, already with a yellow card. That was a yellow card as well, and eventually would have been a red. And there are some other several mistakes that are not, as clear to everybody watching, but there's a hands to the face from, I can't remember if it was Bartlow as well, to Ian Fray. That should have been called. Obviously, the Jordi Alba foul should have been called.
Absolutely.
I think I don't know if that's a red for me,
What?
but it's close. It's
Completely
close
stomps on him. It's not even, bro. Jose, that is a
for
straight
me.
red
For
card.
me.
No,
For me.
pero entonces,
It's for me.
Which
este
one?
arbitraje, Jose Armando's
But the
arbitraje.
referee overall had a bad night. But I think it evens out without having a player that should have been sent off, not sending him off. I think things even out a little bit. The referee was bad for both sides, in my opinion.
I think
Now,
he was,
in the
I think he
video
was
that I
bad in
saw,
the second half. I don't think he was bad in the first half. I think in the second half, he kind of lost his way. I agree with you fully that the 3 yellow cards at the end of the second half were all justified. They were all, you could have not given them, but you could also give them. I had no problem with him giving them. I do have a problem with him not giving a red card for the stomp on Jordi Alba. Like, there's no attempt to play the ball there. It's literally a stomp of the foot. Again, we can't share the video footage, so if you haven't seen it, it is out there on social media. You can look it up. But Jordi Alba gets his foot stomped on near the sideline.
yeah, but Fray was a red card too. He went all the way to the chingo.
But again, I'm saying the second half was bad for the referee. But in terms of the because Mascherano talked about the yellow cards and llenaron de amarillas. I don't disagree. Look, one of the yellow cards comes after the stomp on Jordi Alba. It's like retribution from, I think it was Kremaski, right?
Yes.
And shortly thereafter, Jordi Alba.
Yes, they're both related.
Also, gives him retribution by clipping the player off the ball. It wasn't a hard foul, but he clearly clipped them and makes him fall, and the referee sees it and gives him a yellow card. So no problem with those yellow cards. I do have a problem that they didn't give a red card on the stomp. I do have a problem with the Ian Fray red card at the end. I would imagine
the Redondo yellow card wasn't a yellow card either. There was not even a foul there. That was a terrible call.
But again, he had a bad second half. I imagine Inter Miami will appeal.
I don't. Yeah. That's where I have a problem with this, because based on what will you appeal? I mean, you're going against the person that was right.
What is he supposed to do?
What if the referee comes to you and tells you, well, that camera angle is not showing what happened. I was there right in front of them and I saw it, and the hand was to the throat.
Yeah, but the Houston Dynamo grabbed him first, so defend.
Right, what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to just stay there and take it?
If the appeal is for the Houston Dynamo player to be suspended, then they might be successful. But I don't think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the red card to be rescinded. But look, the referee was right there. The referee was right there. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard to go against what the referee will actually say.
I disagree, Jose.
He was right there. And they only have 2 challenges, remember. So 2 appeals, I should say. So is it really worth it? If you're not 100% sure on this one, why? Because Charlotte's going to be the decisive match of the year?
No.
What if you end up losing? Remember, this goes through the playoffs. Through the playoffs. So you can come through a scenario in which you go, Eastern Conference Final. Man. Look, they don't have no more appeals because you missed one in the second game of the season. Makes no sense at all. Makes no sense.
I think you appeal if you're Inter Miami, because I think you have a strong case. Like, again, Ian Fray's reaction is to being held, and it's not intentional to choke Ethan Bartlow.
But does it hurt you? Does it hurt you to not have Ian Fray?
Now, even if Ian Fray says something like the respectful, that the referee didn't wrote that on the statement. He put his hands on his neck. But,
right? Yeah.
But referees can get it wrong, and I think he gets it wrong here. And I think if
we'll see.
If Inter Miami appeals, I think that they will have a strong case to win. I think they would win it.
Yeah, but they can risk it too,
There's no reason why to risk it right now. I mean, they can very easily win against Charlotte on Sunday without Ian Fray.
Sacrifice too great, man.
I mean, I'd rather use this later on a big game with one of my top players than in the third game of the season, a home game, nonetheless,
but
against Charlotte.
It might not happen. Use it if you have to, and if they have to, again, I think they
use it if you have to. What is that supposed to mean? So if they go and use it on this game, and then use it on Sunday, miss them both, and you don't have any more appeals for the rest of the season because use it when you have to. You don't have to use it right now.
There's no guarantee that they're going to have another situation like this throughout the rest of the season. There's no guarantee.
It's absolutely right. So that's why exactly the reason why you don't use it when you have to.
I would use it because
Every red card is
a
a situation where you can use it, but that's, I don't know. They can do whatever they want, but I'm just saying, just wait out a little bit more. This is only the second game, and would affect your third game of the season.
They could also not appeal, and MLS disciplinary committee could still overturn the call, right? So,
look, if it's that clear, if it's as clear as you think it is, then that's what might happen. I don't see it happening. And look, Ian Fray said over the weekend that he was tired. Yeah, he felt tired. So let's just say that he plays on Thursday against Cavalier. Sunday actually might be a good game, to give him a rest. So, I mean, it really makes no sense for them to appeal this. It makes no sense at all.
I disagree. They don't have a right back. If Ian Fray's out,
what if Chelo is back? Would you appeal? Can you imagine if Chelo is back? If Chelo is ready to come back,
you don't appeal.
Then you appeal, and then you miss this opportunity, and you end up with one appeal because you're appealing for a substitute.
That's right. They can use Ian Fray against Cavalier, and if Chelo is back, use him on the weekend.
But is Chelo going to be back? Is Chelo going to be back?
But why not use it then? If you believe that they will win it 100%, then why use it? I mean, you're saying you're not going to use it if Chelo is back, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're 100% that you're going to win the case, then why not use it and take that red card off the record?
Well, then use it. Use it. That's fine. Use it. I mean, if you already have
use
coverage,
it or not use it.
No, because you have.
If
coverage.
Chelo is back.
No. Hold on. I'll answer your question directly. If Chelo's back, you have cover at right back, or you have a guy who's the projected starter who could play on the weekend. If he's not back, then you're going to have to make do with somebody who's not a natural right back to play in that position. There is a chance that this does not get overturned, right? Whether it's slim, whether it's big, there's a chance.
Right.
So if I'm Inter Miami,
don't use it.
If I'm Inter Miami, based on what you see on the angles, I think you take the chance. If
you said they had a strong case, and now it sounds like you don't believe as much in that strong case.
No.
If you have a strong case and you believe they're going to win it, use it. Use it.
Absolutely.
Use it on the substitute. Use it, no matter what.
Use it. If Chelo's back though, you don't need to, right? You don't need to take that risk. You don't need to take.
I don't know.
Yeah, changing the tone. To play.
Changing the tone.
No. Look, last week, and I'll say this, I tweeted this today. Last week, I understood Inter Miami's gripe, like their frustration with the Tomas Avila's red card. I understood it, but I said I don't agree with it. I thought it was a red card. Here, I don't think it's a red card. Here, I think they have just reason to feel hard done by. And this is an ongoing thing. And Mascherano goes into this during that 2-minute rant where he says, this is concerning. Esto me preocupa. This is starting to worry me that the referee's right there and he doesn't make the correct call. Again, is there, very quickly, is there some level of referees in an attempt to not look biased in favor of Inter Miami going too far the other way and maybe making calls that they shouldn't against Inter Miami? Because I do believe that. I do believe that personally.
I don't know, man. I would have to see a little bit more of this to really believe that referees are against Inter Miami. As of right now and throughout, if we look all the way back since Messi's arrival, it has been the other way around. How many games have we seen Messi deserving of a yellow card and he doesn't get shown of a yellow card? Why? Because it's Messi.
Anti-Messi, Jose, anti-Messi. Tú eres anti-Messi. Ahorita llegan los Messi fans.
We just saw it a few days ago.
Pero Mascherano is anti-press. I'm gonna put the 2 clips tomorrow, man. When Messi's involved, when Messi's not involved.
All right. So we'll leave it there. We'll see what Inter Miami does. Luis Suarez, very quickly. What did you guys think of his game? He had a monster performance. He got credited with 2 assists, not 3. He was involved in the lead up to the other goal, but no assist was given. And then he has a goal, which Alonso thought was candidate for el Puskas del año, but Anyway, what do you think, Jose, about Luis Suarez's performance? Because we were critical of him in preseason. Again, the level of the opposition is not the best, but all the same, still shows his quality in this one. So, what do you think of Suarez? Very quickly.
No, I think it was a good performance. It was a good performance from him. I think we've seen throughout, preseason, and I don't know if this is kind of a different approach for him, but he hasn't been the goal scorer that we've known, but he has been able to have an impact in the games with assists, and he did that a lot during preseason as well. Look, I don't think he's that type of player. I want Luis Suarez to score. I don't want Luis Suarez to assist. But if that works for Inter Miami right now, then so be it. I acknowledge that he's making an extra effort, but at the same time, I think Inter Miami needs to see him score a little bit more and put him in that scenario where we saw last year, and he was successful with it.
Again, yeah, I think it goes back to the tactics because again, I think you're seeing him maybe create a little bit more this year, being given the role or the instruction to create as much as maybe he needs to finish. If you also remember that goal that Messi scores against Kansas City in the first leg in the in the Arctic weather, Messi's in a more central area, right? Busquets hits him with the ball over the top, and Messi's more in a center off-right area, and Luis Suarez is pushed a little bit more out to the left. So this is a different tactical wrinkle from Javier Mascherano. It's an interesting one. You definitely get to see some of the creativity. There was one switch that he made where he showed off his good passing, which was also impressive. But yes, a strong performance from Luis Suarez el Pistolero, and he gets his first goal of the season. This is what Gonzalo Luján said after the game about the Uruguayan striker.
Es un jugador de clase mundial, lo sabemos todos y nos ayuda mucho al equipo, comandando, digamos. Creo que nos hace ser a todos mejores.
Comandando, which Mascherano, I have a minute and a half of Mascherano on Suarez, but I won't share it because we've already heard a lot of Mascherano here today. Yeah. Where he says, the way he leads the front line, the way he organizes, he says Suarez is a very smart player and they have to take advantage of that because it's hard to find in football, in soccer. So a lot of rave reviews for Suarez, rightfully so after this game. Alonso, you think he deserved the man of the match, but he did not get it. Instead of Stelasco Segovia. Any thoughts you care to share with regards to that?
I mean, Suarez keep demonstrating why he's the best. I remember you were there when you asked him why he's not scoring that many goals in the early 2024 season, and then he scored 21 goals and 10 assists now in 2 games. Yeah, you did.
I don't remember.
You did.
Yeah, I remember in the 10th. Hey, you've been lacking on goals. In the he laughed. He said, like, hey, man.
No. I didn't say
it's true. Yeah. It's true.
Okay,
it's true.
But watch the video. Yes. Watch the video.
No, I have it. But he scored 21 goals, 10 assists on the 2024 season. Now Jose, he's telling him, hey, I want the Luis Suarez, the goleador. But he, in 2 games, got 3 goals contribution. Like in 1 goal and 2 assists. Come on. I mean,
goal contributions is an MLS thing. It doesn't exist in this podcast.
No, but he got 2 assists and 1 goal in 2 games. That's a lot for a 38 years old. Like, if he's on his 20s, like Liverpool time playing MLS, of course, hey, you score 40, but 21 goals at 37 years old and he's 38 years old.
I want him to score because I think if he moves away from the box, it's going to take a much bigger toll on him.
I mean, probably he's one of the best number 9s or probably the best at playing MLS.
I want him inside the box. That's why I want him inside the box. I want him to finish. I don't want him to be...
I know he missed a goal in Houston. I think Cremasco Segovia giving a pass in one time.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, he keeps drifting to that left.
But I mean, you have to enjoy Luis Suarez, like for his age, the amount of goals he
still has quality.
Support, man. Come on.
A lot of quality. Thomas has put some respect on Suarez's name. He scored 20 goals last year, and he was the MVP in Brazil. Jay says Suarez doesn't need to score. He only needs to contribute like the Allende goal and the Messi goal. Justin says, Allen Obando coming for Suarez to rest some games. Mascherano did mention that they also have to kind of manage Suarez's minutes during his minute and a half.
So against Cavalier, he's not playing.
So I don't know about against Cavalier, but at some point soon, I imagine Suarez will get arrested. It is a busy month.
Let's not disrespect Cavalier because we saw already what Houston Dynamo did this weekend. They were terrible. So if Cavalier doesn't do very good. There are bad teams everywhere. Just saying.
Do you think if Inter Miami wins 3-0, 4-1, it's gonna be Suarez and Messi in Jamaica?
No.
Well, let's transition to start rounding out the show. Inter Miami will host Cavalier FC, the Jamaican club, on Thursday at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Tickets are as low as $15. It is probably a good bet to take the gamble and see if maybe you can see Messi for as cheap as you're going to probably see him from now until the end of his time here, because normally, again, going back to the earlier talking point, tickets are expensive. So this game, not so much. I think one ticket after the Ticketmaster fees and everything will run you almost $30. So let's just round up, say $30. It's not bad. It's not bad. It is a Thursday night game. Concacaf Champions Cup. I expect Inter Miami to cruise in this one. And I just don't see Cavalier being a stiff test for the South Florida side. Jose, with regards to the team, the lineup, I mean, are we going to see a strong Inter Miami lineup, or do we see some rotation in this one?
No, I think we're going to see a pretty good lineup. I think they want to, they want to take care of business at home, and if they have a comfortable lead, then that's going to be important for them, because they're going to be able to rest some of the players in the second leg, which is big, not for the team necessarily, but for Messi's approach to Inter Miami when it comes to the national team. And the FIFA window is right around the corner. So if he's able to take off, that night in Jamaica, then he'll do it. But for that, I think they do need to have a very good result here. Look.
So no rotation?
No, I don't think they'll rotate as much. I don't think they'll rotate.
Plus the defense, the center backs.
But I mean, how many will we consider? Yeah, but will we consider that a rotation? Because Falcon played over the weekend.
So that's my question to you guys, right? Because against the Dynamo, this was the starting lineup: Oscar Ustari in goal, 4-4-2, Ian Fray, Gonzalo Lujan, Noah Allen, Jordi Alba, Benjamin Kremaski, Yannick Bright, Sergio Busquets, Telasco Segovia, Luis Suarez, and Tayo Allende up top. And look, if you look at the lineup, Yannick Bright came in, right? Federico Redondo sat. Peluca Falcon did not start after starting in the Champions Cup match. So Lujan came back in.
Avila's red card.
But we're referring to rotation. We're referring to rotation from players that we know they are starters. Like, if Drake starts over Ustari, that's rotation. But Benja playing is not rotation because he's not a starter. Yannick Bright playing is not rotation because he's not a regular starter. Fede Redondo is the starter in that position. So how many options do they have really that we could consider rotation?
Did they rotate against Houston?
I think they did rotate against Houston.
Because there was talk on the broadcast, at least on English, that there wasn't a rotation. I mean, it was a strong lineup.
Yeah, they don't know the teams, bro. I mean,
no, because on week one, David Ruiz played.
I agree that it was a pretty strong lineup, but there was some rotation, right? Benjamin Kremaski came in, although Messi was out. And Yannick Bright also came in from Fede Redondo. There was obviously an automatic switch at center back because of Tomas Aviles' red card. But there were at least 2 to 3 changes that you could say that Inter Miami made in this game.
If Yannick Bright and Benjamin Kremaski play, they are part of the rotation. There's no doubt about that.
All right, so who starts? Give me your starting lineup. We'll start with Jose, and then we'll go to Alonso. We're going by seniority here, Alonso. Sorry, my friend.
Okay. So I think Ian Fray starts on the right.
Torquero. Drake Calendar traveled to Houston, man. Maybe.
I'm sorry, Franco, to disappoint you, but Ustari is the goalkeeper for this team. So Ustari will start. Then Ian Fray, Toto Aviles, Peluca, and Jordi. Then Busi and Redondo. Allende on the right side, on the left Telasco, and then Messi and Suarez.
So the strongest Inter Miami 11.
Yes.
Okay. Alonso, do you agree with that, or do you see any changes?
I agree with him because Calendar, even that he deserved a rotation, is not going to rotate.
Why does he deserve a rotation?
He
Because
deserves a chance. I agree
no,
with you.
because
He deserves a
according to
chance.
Mascherano, his sensations by now should be okay.
Well,
Now,
he traveled. He
he's 100
finally dressed.
I
He
know
finally
that's what I'm
dressed.
saying. 100% he's not injured. So now that the decision is based on sensations. So the sensations by now that he was on the bench against Houston,
Yes.
now he should be like, hey, I'm 100% overall. So put me
So
there.
that doesn't mean he should
But the-
start. Just
I
But
because-
he
play. I'm
said
100% I play.
But-
Yeah, he said that.
But
That's
Javier
true.
said that, bro.
Yes.
Javier said that. The only reason that he's on the bench is because he comes to me.
No,
like, hey,
no. He said he's not. He hasn't dressed yet because he's not 100%. Now that
in his
apparently
intentions, in his emotions, not physically.
sensaciones. No.
Sus
Sí.
sensaciones.
Sensaciones físicas, pues.
Sus
No, I don't think-
sensaciones is different. No, sus sensaciones no es que sus sensaciones como it's like a he's trying to say. I'm not saying that he's like he's trying to say like he's insecure right now.
No.
Yes, sensaciones. What
And
he's
I
perceiving.
think that he wasn't fully. That he didn't feel 100%. Yeah, he didn't feel 100%. I don't know about no.
Okay.
Anyway,
see.
I
We'll see.
agree with Jose. I think that's the starting lineup. Strong lineup. There's a question here in the comment section. It goes back to what Alonso asked earlier. Jason says, I have a question. Do y'all think they travel in Jamaica if they win big in the first leg? The pitch is bad. I saw some videos. Jose, if Inter Miami wins 3 or 4 goals, do Messi and co travel to Jamaica the
Wow.
following week?
Wow, that's very aggressive on your side. 3 or 4 goals?
Well, Jamaica. Come on.
What? The Houston Dynamo is worse than them.
Look what happened to Olympia on those 5.
Yeah, Olympia should be crushed. I have no problem with that. That was very nice on Inter Miami. Biggest result ever. Perfect. No, I look. Yeah, it could be a tricky game for the Jamaican side, but
The tickets are sold out in Jamaica, so there's no lose.
yeah, people already paid. Yeah. By the way, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they arrived this afternoon. So they are having a party here. They'll be training tomorrow and then Wednesday and then obviously Thursday the game. I expect Inter Miami to win. But I think I'll be 2 goals. I'll give it 2-0. I think they're going to be excited, and I think there are going to be a lot of Jamaicans in the stadium as well. So it's not going to be a hostile environment for the Jamaicans.
No, but I
So-
mean, all Mascherano has to do is tell Messi, hey, Messi, promise everyone that you're going to give him a jersey. That's all. It's true. It's true. That's how,
I
that's
no,
how
but
they do.
honestly, I expect them to compete for maybe 60 minutes, and then which is what usually happens with teams from the Caribbean and Central America as well. They compete for 60 minutes, and then they are maybe 1 or 2 goals down, and then the 60th minute mark comes and shoo, the excitement is gone. They don't see as much. You don't see them well
the
organized.
The Messi effect,
Yeah, and then everything crumbles. But I expect them to compete.
What do you mean? No, look at the first season of Messi in the MLS. Brandon Vasquez, after the game that they lost go to the final, hey, here's my jersey. Can you sign it? You're not going to do that.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about? This game.
With the game. You say 3-4 goals. 3-4 goals. 3-4 goals.
Jose is saying the Cavalier is going to be competitive.
No, I doubt it.
I think they will. I think they'll put up a fight more than Houston Dynamo.
Not many people.
Yes,
not many people gonna. I mean, they're not gonna see probably Messi again. So they're gonna try to do whatever they can to see Messi talk to him.
But this is the game. This is the game of the life for that team. This is the game
is their
they
idol.
dream of. A road game against Messi. They know if they don't perform, Messi's not going to Jamaica. So this might be the only chance for them to play against Messi in their home turf with their friends and family watching.
I
don't think any of that will mask the fact that Inter Miami is wildly more talented.
Oh, yes. Miami is
Jose
way
is saying-
superior. No.
They are
Jose is
bigger
saying-
and stronger than Inter Miami.
Inter Miami is way superior than
I bet. Alonso, hold on. Hold your horses. Jose is saying that he thinks Cavalier FC is going to be competitive, at least until the 60th minute.
Maybe when they're running to the truck, they can rush past, but let's see. No.
They are bigger and stronger, so they'll be able to win, 50-50 balls.
Can they compete?
They are very
from a physical
aggressive.
standpoint?
It should look. If Miami wins by 2 goals, it'd be like I don't know, 4 out of 10 rating. They need to golear. They need to like 3 and above.
KTD, do you think Messi's traveling to Jamaica? So KTD, that's kind of the
Depends on the result. Depends on the result.
Okay, Alonso, yeah. Let's see. Hands to the fire, hands to the flame, manos al fuego.
Todo, papi.
Inter Miami wins by 3 goals or more. Yes or no?
Yes, but they have to. This is not. They have to win 3 by 4 goals. This is the Caribbean. I don't know. I mean, look, Andre Blake, they're one of the best players here. They need to win by 3 by 4 goals.
I don't know what Andre Blake of the Philadelphia.
No, I'm just saying, like the expectation is to play in MLS, so the local league is not that competitive. So Inter Miami is way superior. They need 3 or 4 goals or more. It can be less than 3 goals.
I expect Inter Miami to win lopsidedly again. I don't think this is a stiff test for them. Jose thinks it'll be a stiff test or a competitive match until the 60th minutes.
They'll compete.
So at least to the so Jose, how many goals does Inter
They
Miami
are the
win by?
best. They are the best team in the Caribbean. They won the tournament. So I mean, whether
The
they
Caribbean, but who they compete against?
Or
Puerto
not.
Rico.
That's what I'm saying.
Dominican.
well, look.
Another
Remember what
team.
happened? Remember what
Alias
happened? No. Remember what happened with Austin FC and Violet from Haiti? Remember what happened with
Pero
that?
Austin FC is not Inter Miami.
Because
Jose.
they have
Austin FC is
Messi.
Inter Miami. Austin FC doesn't have Messi. so
Al
that
ataque a Rossi.
I'm just saying. I've been watching the
This
Caribbean
Cavalier
for
playing
years.
Super PlayStation, and then now they're gonna see Busquets, Suarez, and Messi.
Bueno, all right.
I don't know.
We'll leave it there. Jose clearly thinks this is going to be a tighter match than we expect it to be.
Right. I think they'll compete. Yes.
So Inter Miami wins though in the first leg.
Yes, they win.
Yes.
They win.
By
1
3
goal,
or 4.
2 goals. How many goals? You don't have to give me a prediction. Just how many goals?
I think by 2 goals. They win by 2 goals.
Okay, I'm taking at least 3, and Alonso said 4. So
3 and 4, 3 and up.
3 and up.
They can be less than 3.
I agree.
Yeah, disgrace.
This is not. I think for Inter Miami, it's going to be a walk in the park. That doesn't mean that they should overlook the opponent the way I think that the opponent matches up against them, but I just don't see Cavalier. Like if Cavalier makes this a close game, then Cavalier FC should be happy with that result because Inter Miami is clearly the superior team on paper. Okay. We will leave it there for this show. We will be back on Friday. I don't know which part of the team will be back. There's 4 of us now. Hopefully, at some point in the near future, we'll get Jose, Andrea, Alonso, and myself all on. That should be fun. Alonso, we don't have a nickname for you yet. We've got Island Jose, a.k.a. Cinco. We've got Andrea, a.k.a. Ajicita, but we don't have a nickname for you yet. We got to...
Oh, it's the first show. That doesn't happen.
It flows. I know. By the way, Jose, since he's ex-military, I told him every time we see him on the beginning of the show, we have to salute him.
We're
like
in
this.
salute?
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
it.
Are we doing it right? That's the question.
I
We're like this.
Bro.
Yeah, me causa. All right. So we will leave it there for this week's show. We will be back on Friday night in between the match against Cavalier FC and the weekend match against Charlotte FC. So yes, we'll be back at some point later this week. Don't know who will be on yet, but keep you guys abreast to that. KTD says they will compete and reduce the score to 5-0 instead of 8-0. So I think they're having a go at you there, Jose. And
We'll see.
Mr. Spider Pig 4-1 Inter Miami. So a repeat of the result against the Houston Dynamo, according to Mr. Spider Pig. And yeah, I think this series could get ugly on the global, on the aggregate. But all right, we'll leave it there. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Give us a like, a share, a comment, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media handles at Miami Total Futbol and individually at JARM21, at Alonso_Inca, at Franco Penizo. So for Jose Armando, for Alonso Contreras, I am Franco Penizo. You have been listening to Miami Total Futbol Radio. We will talk to you guys again in a few days.